I want to give all I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakah Kwadash, the honors unto our apostle elders, which rule great millstone wow, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure into the end. Shalom wa abba. All right, so this is Job 34, verse 34. It says, "Let men of understanding tell me, and let a wise man hearken unto me. Job hath spoken without knowledge, and his words were without wisdom," because he didn't understand why these things were happening to him. And eventually, later in the story, Job did know what the Lord was doing. All right, he was purifying him. It says, "My desire is that Job may be tried, but you're tried by the fire of adversity, to purify you unto the end because of his answers for wicked men." So it wasn't that the Lord was going to destroy Job, but he had the right answers for wicked men. Now it tells you in Job 1, all right, verse 6, it says, "Now there was a day when the sons of Yahweh came to present themselves before Yahweh," which it would really be the sons of the Elohim. Let's go there to Job 1 and 6. It says, "Now there was a day when the sons of," it says God, but when you go into there, it would be Elohim. Elohim, H430, rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods. Because Yahweh created Yahweh Shai created the elect, and then everything else. All right. So it says, "Now there was a day when the sons of Elohim came to present themselves before Yahweh, and Satan came also among them," which that spirit Satan is on the wicked, the so-called Caucasian today. They are the wicked men. "And Yahweh said unto Satan, Whence cometh thou? Then Satan answered Yahweh, and he said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it," right? Pushing the left-handed side of the Lord throughout the earth, using the wicked. All right, the wicked were prophesied as vagabonds. All right, just like the first Edomite, Cain, which was turned to red because he lost the melanin in his skin for murdering his brother Abel. All right, and he was the first Edomite, and then off of them came the so-called white race. All right, now the wicked once again are vagabonds and fugitives, and also they're the wicked that rule the world and corrupt the world. All right. It says in verse 8, "And Yahweh said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job?" Just like now they're looking at the Israelite, that there is none like him in the earth. There is none like the Israelites that have faith in his son Yahweh Shai. A perfect and an upright man was Job, one that feareth our power and escheweth evil. And that's how we are, right? This is why they're coming with immigration bullshit, right? Because really we're walking upright. They really have no other reason to try to arrest us because we're law-abiding citizens, right? It says, "Then Satan answered Yahweh and said, Doth Job fear?" I believe that would be the Elohim, but it'd be our power. Yep, Elohim. So it says, "Does Job fear our power for naught? Has not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face, which this is the spirit of these Edomites. This is why you got ICE wanting to take you away, take your life away, take your family away, take you away, right, from being able to live. It says in verse 12, and Yahweh said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power, which it tells you in 2 Ezra 16, that these demons are going to use people to pretty much cause insurrection against us. Them that fear the Lord, right? They're going to persecute us. It says, put not forth thine hand, so Satan, it says, and Yahweh said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of Yahweh, which eventually, when you read the whole story, he took everything, his family, his wealth, his health, all right, and he used Satan to do it, which Satan came in many forms, even including other men. But I'm going to jump down. It says, because the Lord pretty much told Satan, you can't kill him. Right here, verse 6 of Job 2, verse 6. And Yahweh said unto Satan, behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life, which he made him sick. All right. What was Job's answer? It says, let me see. Right here. Verse 9, Job 2 and 9. Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thine integrity? Curse our power and die. But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. You speak as a heathen woman. What shall we receive good at the hand of our power, and shall we not receive evil? In all this did not Job sin with his lips, see, which he spoke the truth. All right, and this is just like the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, it tells you in Revelations 14 verse 5, and in their mouth was found no guile. Should we just tell the truth? For they are without fault before the throne of our power. Just like Job. Job was considered a perfect and an upright man that escheweth evil. Now, I want to go into Deuteronomy 9, and it tells you how the Lord rises up against our enemies for us. Okay? It says in Deuteronomy 9 verse 4, speak not thou in thine heart after that Yahweh thy power hath cast them out from before thee, saying, for my righteousness Yahweh hath brought me in to possess this land. But for the wickedness of these nations Yahweh doth drive them out from before thee. So our righteousness is not of our own, it's of Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai. Isaiah 59 and 17, 58 and 17. Nope, it's 54. Yep, 54. It says, no weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. We tell the truth. We tell the truth. All right, the truth condemns them. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, which we have the right answers for wicked men, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. So we're not saying that the Lord is going to deliver us from our enemy because of our righteousness, because we don't eat pig or we don't shave our beards or things like that. It's because the Lord is going to show us favor. He's going to show that he loves us and hates Esau, fulfilling prophecy. All right. Now, going back to that Deuteronomy 9, All right. And but once again, it says, but for the wickedness of these nations, Yahweh doth drive them out before thee, which the Edomites are the most wicked. They are the wicked, literally. All right. You have three different kinds of men on earth. You have the sons of God, Yahweh's Israelites, all right, which Yahweh was an Israelite, and he's going to deliver the Israelites as the Messiah, the Savior, all right. Then you got the sons of men, which are the heathen. But out of all the heathen, you got the sons of the wicked, the so-called white race, which is the red devil the Bible speaks of, all right. And they're the most wicked. It says in Deuteronomy 9 verse 5, not for thy righteousness or for the uprightness of thine heart dost thou go to possess their land, but for the wickedness of these nations, which they were Hamite nations before. All right. But now that spirit of wickedness is on the Edomites, all right, which are the so-called superpower in this generation of men, right? They claim to be a superpower. But for the wickedness of these nations, Yahweh, thy power, to drive them out before thee, and this is why they're running into bunkers, and that he may perform the word which Yahweh swear unto thy fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that he would give us that land, and that we would be in that land peacefully forever. It hasn't happened yet, but only under King Solomon for 40 years. But that was just a glimpse into what we were going to have. And it tells you that under King Solomon, that no one even suffered to stub their toe, or there was no trouble whatsoever that was upon the Israelites. All right. So the Lord's going to give us this authority over the other nations, and they're going to be our slaves, and then eventually tributaries forever. All right. And they will learn the ways of our God and serve us. All right. It says in verse 6, understand therefore that Yahweh thy power giveth thee not this good land to possess it for thy righteousness, for thou art a stiff-necked people, right? But why? Because it's his will to give it to us. Romans 9 verse 11. It says, for the sons Esau and Jacob, Esau is the father of the so-called white race. Jacob is the father of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, which we've been broken up in slavery. It says, for the sons being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of our power, Yahweh through his son Yahweh Shai, according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth, because it was prophesied, it was said unto her, the elders shall serve the younger. The Edomite is going to be the slave of the Israelite. And this is why they're fighting like right now. This is why you see ICE has just become the biggest military, in pretty much most parts of the world, with a budget bigger than Israel or Brazil. See? So this shows you that we're in the last days, and they're coming down with great wrath because they know that they have a short time. Why do they know they have a short time? Because the prophets have been prophesying. All right, and now the prophecies are coming to pass, like it says in Isaiah 13. The pangs and the sorrows. The pangs are the messengers of pain, the prophets, and then now you're seeing the sorrows catch up. So they're going to persecute us for this truth. It says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with Yahweh? Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai forbid. Look, we're telling you the truth, and now you want to kill us. You want to murder us. We tell the truth, and you're trying to defund us. We tell the truth, and you're trying to silence us. See, so the Lord has a issue with that. Hosea 4 verse 1, hear the word of Yahweh, ye sons of Israel. For Yahweh had a controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of power in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery, they break out, and blood touches blood. Israelites killing Israelites. All right? So this is under the Edomite today, but this happened also under the Israelite, and that's why we are in slavery today, under the Edomite. But now we're at the end of our punishment, and it's Esau's turn to go into slavery with the rest of the heathen also. It says, I'll get the first verse. It says in Lamentations 4 verse 1, how is the gold, being the Israelite men, become dim? Meaning we don't have no, for the majority, the Israelite has no truth, but the elect, for the elect's sake. It says in Isaiah 1 and 3, Israel did not know, my people did not consider. Verse 9, except Yahweh had gave us a small remnant, the elect. How is the most fine gold changed? The Israelites, how have they been changed? It was by the wicked, all right? They corrupted them. They gave them false doctrines. The stones of the sanctuary are poured out in the top of every street. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold, how are they esteemed as earthen pitchers? The work of the hands of the potter, which the Lord made us mortal, all right, and took our immortality, and now we're here on the earth as men under the base man Edom. So we're living in a life of hell, all right, but we're about to raise above all this shit because of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh's going to send Yahweh Shai back, and he's going to deliver us. So it tells you, it says, Lamentations 4 verse 11, Yahweh had accomplished his fury. He had poured out his fierce anger and had kindled a fire in Zion, and it had devoured the foundations thereof, which the Lord's eventually going to destroy our enemy and establish us as the ruling class. All right, Zion is the top of the mountain. We're the top race, and we're the top ruling class, the elect. Revelation 14 and 1, and I looked, and lo, a lamb, Yahweh Shai, the ultimate sacrifice for Israel, stood on the Mount Sion. So that sacrifice was only for the Israelites, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads, which are the elect, the governing party of the Israelite race. All right, and that's what they don't like, is that we're standing up and confessing this truth, telling our people to repent, when Esau has made his living on us committing sin. All right, it says in Lamentations 4 verse 21, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, because in their mind they think they're going to continue. They think they're going to be able to get their hopes fulfilled, but really they're going to be in straits, and then they're condemned on top of that. It says, that dwelleth in the land of Uz, the cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. So your shame is being revealed. And that's what you don't like. That's why you got these ICE agents running around with their face covered, because what you're doing, you don't want the shame to come upon you. It says, the punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. Now that they're coming in like a flood, the Lord's going to raise the standard for us. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. So he's going to, his plans are going to fail the wicked. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And he's going to mount you here. All right? He's going to mount your kingdom. He's going to mount your armies. All right, it says in Zechariah 14 and 12, it says, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Jerusalem is a city, a people before a place. Jerusalem, Yah Shalom, which is a city of peace. He, Shar, Prince peace, and where he dwells there is peace. Yahweh Shai is the bringer of peace, and he's bringing peace to the Israelites that are sighing and crying and prophesying. Their flesh shall, and these are the enemies, once again, verse 12, and this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth, which Apostle Dohar, put it in GPT, I believe it is, chat, the AI, and asked if this verse was talking about a nuclear destruction, and it agreed. All right, because America is going to be turned into a lake of fire, and we're going to overcome. All right, Yahweh is going to send his son Yahweh Shai back, and he's going to pick us up, and we're safely going to be preserved from the judgment of the wicked. Shalom to the elect. Wa abba.